the question was raised, how can you sum up enlightenment? How can you sum up enlightenment, which is a state of being enlightened? The question was not aimed at enlightenment. The question was aimed at the one that apparently experienced enlightenment. How can you sum up your state of enlightenment? You see, we have human body and mind, and we have languages and words, and we have the ability to what we call talk and communicate using this body, this words, this language. And this language, unfortunately, has been designed as an individual language for each one of us that is born from a universal language of noise, sound. So we cannot not talk about ourselves as the experiencer of enlightenment, even though the experiencer is not talking about itself. The language will portray some sort of description to the listener. So you can be as careful as you like. J.D. Krishnamurti is probably the most careful and the most eloquent and the most successful in reaching something within us all. So how can this speaker be careful, you see? How can you sum up enlightenment? Well, firstly, there's no I, me, that experiences enlightenment. The apparent form, which is not detached from the space around it, from the trees, is the same. So whatever is coming to a point of talking is being talked from life itself, the trees, the mountains, the slugs. But our mindset, which is closed, bound through a programming, through an information process, which we as humans have become an information process. You can't leave a doctor's surgery and join another doctor's surgery. You cannot go in and see the new doctor without the information. What is your name? And all the information is already stored in the previous doctor's surgery. And all they have to do is press a button and get the information, and you walk in, you see. But you have to fill in endless forms and whatever like that, because the information is much more important than the person. Anyway, that's diverging into what you experience from being part of this enlightened state. Sum up enlightenment is a separation from you as that jewel, me in the world, which is really not jewel, because as the speaker says, non-jewel. So we really deeply all know inside. We really deeply all know inside that we're all one. But we're acting out a dualistic way through a programmed and informative and simple and easy, controlled and manipulated way. So we really are non-dual before enlightenment. We are all one enlightened state, experiencing mental constructed ideas of what pain and depression and anxiety and joy is. So you have the human dual system born from our non-dual self, and both are participating and acting out this life at the same time, simultaneously. Enlightenment is the actual opposite of what the mind expects. The mind thinks that we are dual. We believe we're dual. I believe I am here and my television set is over there. And it thinks that enlightenment, you become non-dual. No, you become the complete opposite of non-dual. You become separate. Because the idea is to separate you, to observe the world as what it was before, but with no dual mind. So when you say you become one, it's because you don't have a mind that you used to have in that dual state. Not a different quality mind, you have no mind. So therefore you are separate from everything, even your body. Hence enlightenment. Hence the idea that I am now enlightened because I am no longer a part of this natural human process. So it sounds a bit like, wow, I've been looking for something that actually is detrimental to my human and my being side. Because when you become detached from the human and the being side, what are you? You see, where are you? You have no mind. So what something speaks but doesn't know what it's saying. 7 years, 10 years of Sat Chit Ananda bliss. You don't recognize your body because you're not part of your body anymore. You don't recognize your mind because you're not part of your mind anymore. You vaguely know the people around you. You vaguely know where you live. You vaguely know your body is a memory bank of routine. The autism in you keeps you safe, you see. The artistic traits of routine, the conditioned routine. It's not conditioned from the human systematic I mind, it's conditioned from the natural biological state of human beings. So there's a complete detachment to mind and body, but it sounds like the one that appears to be thinking they're enlightened, that they are totally attached to their mind and their body. If you're totally attached to your mind and your body, how can you be enlightened? How can you be separate? How can you be space, nectarian knowledge? You see, it's a riddle within a riddle. And the state of denying the mind and denying the body and denying the world means that what denies everything is not part of that what it denies anymore. But you're going to feel light because you don't have the burdens of worrying about your body and your mind. But that's also an unsafe practice because I don't care if my body dies. I don't care if I enter dementia state. So you are completely out of the human and also the being world for a period of time. So you're as if you think you are the enlightened, you see. You converse like there's a me enlightened, one whole, but you're also conversing that I have a mind and I talk like a human being. Because you cannot be enlightened alone. There has to be a state of realization. You see, realization is more apt for the way of describing what happens. You don't become you're not aiming to become separate from the body and the mind. You're aiming to realize you are already non-dual. It's a realization. It's not an inherited. It's not something that you get more of. You simply accept that you are what you are. Detachment of the mind means you don't know. So you can do talks about the questions and the answers are just ideas and games because you don't know what a question is. You don't know what an answer is because all of these are born from a mind, a mental constructed way that humans have lived by for centuries. So what takes place is a gratitude for the realization, but also a gratitude for the human, the being. There's no gratitude for the idea that I am a saint enlightened and I am special and I have powers and I am the son of God and I am all these things, which is another ego way of humanly saying, wow, what a great experience. You must be something special. No one's ever experienced that before. The mind will talk and talk and talk and talk and talk until it gets you back into the way that it was before. Now, the beauty is to understand, to experience your non-duality without the duality, because the duality goes when the enlightenment takes everything away, because duality is, I am the body and the world is out there. Enlightenment means I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the world out there. So it's complete zeroality, you see. So you want deeply down inside to reconnect with your human state. Anyone that has experienced being separate, you can call it an NDE, out-of-body experiences, voices, all of these things that apparently the speaker experienced. You can say that these things are special, but these things are taking you out and reprimanding you and saying, now look from here. And you understand that all the things that you believed in before were just a game. Politics is just a game. Information is just a game. But you start to enjoy the game. You say, yeah, well, it's a game. Why not participate in the game? Why not regain some sort of interest? Why not just admit? But you cannot admit until your mind understands fully what it went through. The mind took a step back to say, well, okay, on your own, buddy. Go on your own. Be Ramana Maharshi, be whatever it is that talks as if there's an enlightened being, person. Everything is living, you see. So enlightenment appears to be living. But so does dying. Dying appears to be living. I can watch people die. So therefore I'm experiencing dying while I'm living. It's revelational. And realizing that you have already everything that you want, everything that you need. You are the most loving, pure, without enlightenment, without that process. The mind can play so many games when you're not participating with it. It'll dance in front of you and know you. Well, if you're not interested, you cannot touch me. So I'll tell you so many things. I'll take you to so many videos. I'll take you to so many books, and you say, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. And mind says, okay, like, what about your human family? Are you interested in that? Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Now, let's get back to school. There's no individual enlightenment. Enlightenment is the idea that I cannot fit into this human state. I cannot fit into my being state. I cannot even fit into my consciousness state, my godly state. Therefore, I want all states to go. And then suddenly you think you're out of all states, and enlightenment itself is another state, a state of mind. Namaste.